Whenever we heard the NCAA was going to announce their punishment for the Michigan infractions, we wondered which one it was. Then you came in and said, well, this is the Connor Stallions stuff. This is the last of the Connor Stallions investigation, and basically it's a money game and a money play, and Sharon Moore's suspended one more game, and it's the opener for 2026. Did I miss anything in there, and can you break it down for us a little bit?
Sure, Pat. So it's going to end up being an unprecedented monetary cost for Michigan in this. I did some back-of-the-napkin math. It's going to be, I would say, easily over $30 million, the 2-year postseason fine of what they would get for the Michigan would normally get from the postseason. That number's a little bit nebulous just because of some of the vagaries of CFP money and such. But that number is expected to be well over $20 million. There's an additional $7 million, 10% of the football budget fine, and then a couple other fines. I won't bore you with the details. So it's going to be a significant amount of money. But that's the main stick in this. Sharon Moore had self-imposed a 2-game suspension this year, which will still be served game 3 in game 4. Hilarious. There's an additional game for him in 2026. Michigan oddly opens the season in Germany against Western Michigan. Moore still has the option of whether or not to appeal that singular game suspension for 2026. So we'll see if he ends up doing that or not in the upcoming weeks. And then Connor Stallions himself, Ty's personal hero, he has a 8-year show cause coming to him, which is essentially a employment ban. So Connor Stallions, it's highly unlikely we will see him on the sideline or on watching someone else's sideline.
Okay.
For the next 8 years.
One final one. Yeah, one final one in there, Pete. Take advantage. Take the lap. You got to do what you got to do.
Jim Harbaugh, somewhat amusingly, has a 10-year show cause, which is inordinate length for one of these NCAA penalties. He obviously is the coach of the Chargers and doesn't really care. You would probably be amused that it's actually a 14-year show cause because this 10-year show cause starts in 2028. He has a 4-year show cause from one of the prior Michigan NCAA investigations. So I think that would keep Jim until 2038 off of the collegiate sidelines. But that probably matters as much as me being banned from the Cathedral High School parking lot at this point.
Well, I hope you're not banned from any high school's parking lots just going forward.
That's where I went to high school, Pat. So,
okay, well, shout out to Cathedral, and shout out to you being a great grad of Cathedral and really breaking this all down for us. So basically, it's money. Why would they suspend Sharon Moore in 2026 and not add another game to this particular season? And is there any punishment on the team? I saw the 10% of the revenue thing, which off of $77 billion or whatever, $77 million would go down to $7 million, which you addressed there. Does that carry over into next year, or are they completely clean, basically, other than money? Like, is there a loss of scholarship? Is there anything that they can't do, prohibited from, football-wise?
Some recruiting restrictions, but that stuff doesn't matter as much anymore in the NIL era. Just, I think it's official visit. So as far as the Michigan team, I think there's 2 big picture takeaways here, Pat. One is that there was no postseason ban in this, despite being significant findings, and I think we've officially essentially ended the era of the postseason ban that the NCAA would give out. And within the 74-page ruling that the NCAA had, they kind of explained why it happened. And what they're doing is they're essentially taking the money from postseason as opposed to the postseason ban. This is a paradigm shift, but also dovetailing into that, Pat, this is really the last great NCAA case. The College Sports Commission is now going to investigate things that, if there's vagaries in NIL deals and such, but this is really the last explosive, significant NCAA infractions case. NCAA will still oversee some gambling stuff. They're going to have their hands in a few eligibility things. So I'm not going to say we're never going to talk about the NCAA making a decision again, but just in terms of NCAA enforcement, investigating something, significant and holistic like this, there's a very good chance this is the last big NCAA case. And we've seen these for decades and decades and decades.
Okay, let's dance on that grave for sure.
Yeah.
Thank God they're done. Jesus. Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a little bit of a terror run there for a while.
Long time.
Picking and choosing burgers and this, and you want to go back home. We let these other people do it, but you can't do it. Just kind of showcasing a power, wielding a heavy sword, if you will, because they were the ones in charge of everything. Now, I assume there's a lot of work doing all the investigating. There's a lot of lawyers. I get it. It's not easy to do anything, but I believe you described, or in an interview with you, Charlie Baker described it as quagmire. You know, and you actually used the word, I believe, quagmire. You've previously said that this was a bit of a quagmire before you got here. Would you like to elaborate on that? And I was like, well, that's a great word. And then he said it was a quagmire. And you guys did the NCAA finding its new lane, whatever it is good for sports. Hell of a run in the investigating.
Great job. Kind of.
Now, on that note, they couldn't help themselves. They had to do one last NCAA thing. They said, you know what, we're going to suspend them next season, so I have to talk about it again next year.
That's right.
Can you answer that? Why is...
I believe, Pat, it's a timing issue because of the timing of when this is coming down. They are moving it to next season. I don't think that the self-imposed game 3 and 4 was what Michigan and Sharon proposed to them. And then this is an additional penalty. And I believe the timing of it being pushed next year is just simply because where we are right now. But I don't have a clear linear answer on that. And I don't think one is in the materials, at least from what I've seen. But it is a little strange. I mean, that certainly, these things are never easy.
Sharon Moore saying Guten Tag. He had German classes lined up.
He did.
Now he can't go to the game against Western Michigan next year. That's a real... I saw Portnoy, obviously a very distinguished alumni of Michigan. He had a cigar lit pretty good, sitting down in a very luxurious place, it appeared. And he was saying, $20 million, that's ashtray money for us. What are we even talking about here? That's real. Michigan has so many very, very, very wealthy. What is their Dow or whatever?
The endowment? I just had it. I think $17.5 billion
or something like that. You got Bentleys and Rolls Royces in front yards up there in the university. So it's like it being a money situation mostly for that school, they're probably saying, all right, let's move.
Yeah.
And I think we're all doing that with this, right? We're all just moving on now. It's
seems like it.
And the 10-year show cause, 14-year, I guess, in total show cause for Jim Harbaugh. I think we read Nicole Auerbach tweet that's basically like, show cause means if you were to get hired back in, they would have to pitch basically for you to be able to get your job at that place to like the NCAA. They would have to make a ruling on it at the time. And then also if he was come back, I think she said he would be suspended for like a year or something like that, which seems like a lot when he's already been suspended, like 4 or 5 games. So that'd be a year and 5 games, 10-year show cause. Feels like that's heavy on Harbaugh. Is that because he's just been non-compliant in this entire thing, or what is that, you think?
Yeah, I think it's a confluence of things, Pat. Remember, he started that 2023 championship season, self-imposed 3-game suspension for the recruiting violations. He served the 3-game Big Ten sportsmanship suspension at the end of the 2023 regular season before they went and won the title, tied to the Stallions case. And he was not generally cooperative in this. So I think this is the two parties agreeing that they'll never meet again.
Hey, good to see you. Can we see your phone?
Nope.
No. Who are you? You guys the FBI?
Yeah.
See you? Oh, the NCAA? We gave up everything. We talked to you.
Yeah.
Put it there.
High five. Get
All right,
out of here.
I'll see you. That's unbelievable. I'm happy it's all over. Legit. And I'm happy they didn't have to vacate a national championship.
Yeah.
I'm happy, just strictly, and I know Ohio State fans are probably thinking the complete opposite. I know there's probably some people that are wishing they did have to vacate some things, but it's like, there's no way the players knew that all this was happening at the same time or whatever was happening. And it's like they still had to go execute. And congrats to Michigan, I guess, moving on, and all of college football.